Now let's talk about the bolt action rifle. If you're looking for a rifle that could shoot out to 500, 600 yards accurately, this is it. One of the biggest advantages of bolt action, besides from the accuracy, is that when you go up in your tree stand in the very quiet morning and you have to load your rifle, it's usually very, very quiet. In general, there are two types of bolt lift. Now this is 60 angle, and they also have 90 angle. 60 angle goes up shorter, so you could work it faster, and it gives you more clearance with the scope, so your finger doesn't get jammed against the scope. So I really prefer 60 angle. Now let's compare with 90 degree. Right there, you can see my fingers already jammed against the scope. Also, barrel can be free floating or it could be embedded. Now I prefer free floating. To me, they seem to be more accurate and more consistent. Here's why I prefer detachable magazines. All you have to do is take the magazine out, load it up, put it back in, and you're ready to go. But with attached magazines, you gotta open the bolt and you're gonna load it from the top, from here. 1, 2, 3. Now, once you load it, and if you want to unload it, either you got to run the bolt action 3-4 times, or when you pop this open, everything falls out. And I hate having my live ammunition fall to the ground, so I don't like this attached magazines. I call them jack-in-the-box magazines. Like everything just pops out. But if possible, go with detachable magazine. That's much better. Also, in bolt action, they're really easy to clean. All you have to do is pull the ball down and then give it a good clean, and it's really simple. In general, bolt action has the best triggers. Now, if you don't like the trigger pull here, you could actually replace the trigger spring just by removing 2 bolts, taking it apart, and replacing the spring. And it only costs like 15-20 bucks, and it's really simple. And if you want to replace the trigger assembly, that's not so difficult as well. So hunt is over, and you need to come down from your tree stand. As I mentioned, you do not want to come down your tree stand with a loaded rifle. So what do? With the detachable magazine, just remove the magazine and put your hand underneath the rifle and 4 fingers over the chamber. And then just open the action, and that's gonna have your bullet, live ammunition, drop on your palm. Now put it back in here, and then close your chamber, and then put the magazine back in, and you could safely climb down the tree. What about the attached magazines? This is what you do. Now, put your 4 fingers over the chamber, open the action, and that's gonna prevent the live ammunition from popping out. So it's gonna be loose in the chamber. Now use your 4 finger and press it down, and then close the bolt again slowly, so that your bolt is sliding above the live ammunition. So this chamber is empty, but you have a full magazine, and you can safely climb down the tree. For me, bolt action gives me the slowest follow-up shots, and I can't seem to keep my eye on the target. So this is what I do. I shoot this chamber, and then go back and shoot. So I keep my scope at 5 to 6 power, so it'll be easier to find it when I go back. Generally, bolt action rifles comes with 2 different safety, one in 2 stage and one in 3 stage. Now I prefer 3 stage rifles. It's empty. When you have it in the 2nd stage, you can accidentally fire the rifle, but you could empty your ammunitions. As for the price, bolt action could be really inexpensive or it could be very, very expensive. But in recent years, bolt action has become very accurate and very inexpensive. For example, like Thompson Center compass here, very accurate. You could get it for about 300. And for Browning AB3 and for Weatherby S2, you could get it for about 500. And the Savage long range, that's gonna go around 800 to 900. And Christensen Mesas, that's gonna be about 1200. Now, you could spend close to $10,000 on a bolt action rifle. I don't think that's necessary. I think this should be fine. So if you're hunting out to 500 to 600 yards, bolt action should be great for you. But my preference is a free floating barrel. 60 bolt lift, detachable magazines, and less importantly, the 3-stage safety, but this one comes with 2-stage. Now let's talk about the lever action rifle. I only own one lever action rifle, so I can't really talk much about it. But there are many companies that make so many different kind of lever action rifles, and they have all different kind of calibers. Now I went with Browning BAR, chambered in 350 of Winchester, because 350 of Winchester gave me the distance I needed, the accuracy I needed, and the power that I needed. Now Browning also makes calibers from 22 all the way to Magnum class, so you could really find whatever you need out there. And they make in my opinion, they make one of the best action out there. Now some lever action rifles, you feed your ammunition from the tube. I don't like those type because they are very inconvenient to empty it or even to load it. Now this comes with detachable magazine. You probably know by now I like detachable magazines, and this holds 4 rounds. In my opinion, lever action has a faster follow-up shot than bolt action without taking my sight off the target. One thing that I really like about the lever action is the safety of it. I could have a loaded rifle and just decock the hammer, and I could safely carry this like this. And if I see a deer, all I have to do is cock the hammer and pull the trigger. It's that simple. And when you're done hunting up in the tree, you don't have to unload your rifle, just decock the hammer and just climb down. I like to use my lever action rifle in the evening hunt. So when I'm walking into my tree stand, if I bust a deer, I could just follow with the open sight, pull the hammer and pull the trigger. Now, this rifle is set where it's got a iron sight below and the scope on top. As for the cost, lever action rifles can cost you anywhere between $600 to about $1,200, $1,300. Browning BR in this caliber is gonna cost you about $900. In my opinion, lever action rifle is least accurate, but within 200 yards, it's accurate and deadly. I know this can be confusing, but think of it this way. Get all of them and you won't have any problem. But if you have to get one, think about your hunting situation and pick wisely. Next, we're going to talk about the muzzleloader and a crossbow. And lastly, like always, thank God for what you have. Enjoy your life with what you got, but mostly pick wisely. See you.